Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 277 and on Facebook at Metro News. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Let's take a look at our headlines. As the spread of the Delta variant of the COVID-19 virus reaches a concerning level, we bring you graphic details of the infections, deaths and the risks as we project into what the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is set to share with the country at 8 p.m. tonight. Gynecologist obstetrician Dr. Henaku Labi cautions families who opt in for vitro fertilization treatment not to go beyond 2 babies, as World In Vitro Fertilization Day is marked today. We shall tell you the reasons behind the caution. In the world of business, experts in the waste management sector have urged government to provide tax exemptions for stakeholders in waste management businesses to enhance the prevailing state of water, sanitation and hygiene. And in sports, we will bring you update from the ongoing 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. International news: abducted Nigerian school children still held hostage as kidnappers seize a man who was sent to deliver a ransom payment to secure their release. We have details of these and other stories coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. In our first story, as at July 21, 2021, Ghana's confirmed COVID-19 cases have reached a staggering 101,170, out of which 96,255 persons have recovered. 821 persons have died from the novel coronavirus within the same period. We bring you up to speed with the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Ghana Health Service website, the 101,170 is the cumulative figure for all confirmed cases in the country since March 2020. The website also revealed that about 26 of the current 4,094 active cases are severe, while 15 people are in critical condition. Ghana records this new high at a point where the advent of the COVID-19 Delta strain is ushering the country into a third wave. While Greater Accra region continues to be the region with the highest recorded cases, Savannah region is the area with the least recorded case count. A lax enforcement of the COVID-19 safety protocols in the country and blatant breaches of the same protocols by government officials and a cross-section of Ghanaians have exacerbated efforts to reduce the country's infection rate. Now, the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research is calling on government to take a second look at the adherence to COVID-19 preventive protocols and appropriate restrictions. According to the institute, the Delta variant of the deadly coronavirus is now rampant in the country as compared to the previous Alpha variant, which was in Ghana. There is more in the following report.
The Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research says it has observed with concern some characteristics of the new Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2 detected at the Institute's testing center since April 2021. In a statement issued on July 24, 2021, the Institute said the positive cases have very high viral loads, indicated by low cut-off thresholds obtained in a real-time RT-PCR assay. The CT values for the majority are between 15 and 20 compared to higher values above 30. The institute also said it has observed that the positive individuals are taking longer to clear the virus, explaining that is evident in the number of free tests that still test positive. The institute also revealed that its recent sequencing of SARS-CoV-2 has revealed an increased circulation of the Delta variant in Ghanaian communities compared to the earlier Alpha variants. The Delta variant has been reported to spread faster than the other variant, and according to the institute, their testing observation confirmed that. The statement said some clinical specimens submitted to the institute have tested positive with high viral loads. Nguchi warns that with a population of more than 80% unvaccinated, the country must be concerned. It is therefore recommending that government takes a second look at the state of adherence to COVID-19 preventive protocols and appropriate restrictions. Currently, the number of active cases in Ghana has shot up to over 4,000. The latest figures from the Ghana Health Service indicates.
We'll be having an interview on that shortly, but the president will also be addressing the nation at 8 p.m. tonight. Let's go on to other stories. Dr. Henaku Labi, gynecologist obstetrician at the Accra Fertility Center, has cautioned families who opt in vitro fertilization treatment not to go beyond 2 babies, calling for a structured regulation for engaging in IVF treatment. He said this on Newsbeat to commemorate IVF Day today.
The order of babies inside the woman's womb is a big problem. I personally, I hate anything more than 2.
Okay.
It's my personal choice, sort of. So we advise the clients if it's best 1. But you know the way things are, they would even like to have 5, 6. They can choose, but we will not go beyond, in my unit, we don't go beyond 3. Choosing the number of babies inside there, I would really advise that no, don't go beyond 2, 3. Because the higher the order, people get excited that you've seen sex 2 plus 5 babies and all that. It's a failed treatment to some of us. It's failed because it's going to create so much of problem during the antenatal period, carrying. You'll be lucky to have 5, 6 and get to 9 months. Very lucky. Even 3 onwards. So it's, again, the ethics should come in. Eventually the government, there should be some regulation in the law to try and sort these problems, because, excuse me, if people are not aware of the fact that having too many babies in there is a problem, you may lose all. At the end of it, you won't get even 1 out of it, and it happens quite a lot.
Now we're joined via Zoom by a senior research fellow at the Department of Immunology at the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research for more on this. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. You issued a statement. Now kindly explain it to the ordinary Ghanaian what that means.
Okay, good evening to your listeners. So the statement sought to alert the Ghanaian populace and those concerned about trends of increasing danger associated with COVID now, in respect of the fact that we are having an increase in the number of cases that are being reported, and the few samples that have been sequenced also are showing an increasing proportion of these infections being the Delta variant.
So what measures would you like government to take again in ensuring that the virus does not spread further?
Okay, so I mean there are 2 things. Either you are doing the prevention protocols, which include the hand washing, the nose mask wearing, and all the other protocols, or you are vaccinating. And I mean, vaccines, we all know, are in short supply currently, and therefore I think the best option now is to enforce the protocols so that we do not have outbursts of this in our population.
A section of Ghanaians are calling for another lockdown, partial or total lockdown. Would you suggest which of them, if there's a lockdown?
I think this has to be graduated, because when we do this too quickly, it can also create problems on the other side economically. So it may be better to do this in a graduated manner, to start off with the protocols as we know, which we are not observing. So having the mask wearing being enforced, social distancing, we stopping programs that are just causing too much, people to come together and then in very close proximity with one another. So I think we need to start from there and see how it goes before we probably need to go into a full lockdown.
President Akufo-Addo is expected to address the nation later tonight. What are your expectations in that address?
I think I expect the president to touch on these very things, the fact that we need to take this very seriously. There are still people around who think that COVID is a figment of someone's imagination. I think everybody needs to understand now that we were first time lucky. The first time this came around, we didn't have that much of a problem. But now, that is in terms of the severities and deaths. I mean, compared to other nations, we were almost spared. But are we going to be second time lucky? Can we go on riding on luck? We need to take our destiny into our own hands and do the needful in order to prevent the disease from overrunning us.
Right. We're so grateful for your time. We have been speaking to Dr. Kwadwo Asamoah-Kisi. He's a senior research fellow at Noguchi Memorial Institute. You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro TV. We take a break, return shortly.
Handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it. Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchief. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. The Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Welcome back. So at 8 p.m., the president will be addressing the nation on measures taken to curb the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's move on to other stories. A professor of history from the United States with Ghanaian heritage, Egnam, has begun an archaeological excavation of the Christenberg Castle in Osu, Accra, as part of a plan to create a thorough and more objective narrative of Ghanaian history.
I had always grown up as a child, my surname is Engman, knowing that the first Engman was Danish and that he came to the coast. He was in fact a governor, and he was a governor during the height of the Danish transatlantic slave trade. Carl Gustav Engman married Ashokai. Ashokai was the daughter of one of the chiefs. So what I've done with this particular kind of project that I'm calling auto-archaeology, because it's archaeological, but it also draws upon autobiography. We have approximately 180,000 artifacts, and as you can see, we have the foundations of houses and walls. So if you can imagine, this, what you see behind me, started as a 1 meter by 1 meter test pit. So what we did was we surveyed the whole castle grounds. We found areas where there were clusters of artifacts on the surface. So we found a cluster of artifacts, so we said, okay, this is where we're going to dig. So we dug, and we dug, and we dug, and we've been doing this, not last year because of COVID, but every year we come and we dig and we continue. When we're not here, we cover. You can see we've got the walls of houses. We've got an area over here which is a kitchen. And right now we're in the 18th century. We will keep digging until nothing else comes up. And so as you can see over here, we have what was a kitchen area to the 18th century. How do we know? Not because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, because I don't, but I can identify a kitchen area. We have 3 stones. If you were to go to many areas in Ghana today, you would see cooking pots, right, with 3 stones with a pot on top. We found the charcoal. So we took the charcoal to be dated. So we know the charcoal dates back to the 18th century. And we're trying to do a revisionist history. Because if we were to write a history of Ghana or the Gang people based on Danish or any other European colonial account, as you can imagine, it would be quite biased. So what we do is we still have those records, but we put it together with what we're finding in the ground. That's how we.
Water, healthcare and public toilets are unavoidable options for health and sanitation in many low-income towns and cities of developing countries like Ghana. However, towns and communities like Sankey and Ologu in the Wasa East district of the Western region cannot boast of a public toilet or potable water. There's more in the following report filed by Shadrach Odami Ejari.
The Wasa East constituency and district, according to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, has a population of 81,073, accounting for about 3.4% of the Western region's population. The Wasa East constituency has communities like Sachi, Donko, Ekutuase and Drenase. Members in communities in the Wasa East constituency are predominantly farmers, with majority involved in the local production of what is seemingly a chewing sponge or brush known in Akan as sari. Residents bemoaned how the lack of social amenities like a health center, toilet facilities and potable water is making life unbearable.
I know
any toilet back on now. No choice, no crying. There be a bind a man. Only Yankasa, you will claim none. Also, I cannot nuclear make a nuclear and a circular into paying flyer question and can't come on the air. Just saying, you're not bushing in our say, Penicula upon us a one shilling, you bet me.
You may be a new cream, chronic in your cream. So be a rat, to say I didn't to motor so quite to be a and son, Torret to cross up the fire and said in me, Torret, Papa Bia, in Suso, Bacopa now, Nimbanus autumn or autumn, oh, mana, Watu, Uncle baby, on my aunt, Yen soon. I pharmacy, a Quadrian, a Quadrian, Ono Pama, a Jumabia in home.
I decided to visit other farming communities in the constituency to assess the level of development. After about 5 minutes walk, it was obvious my journey won't be possible. Kojo and Hannah narrated how authorities have turned a blind eye to the collapsed bridge connecting Sanchi and communities like Ologo and Ochimbesa. This, they say, has made it impossible for members of such communities to visit nearby towns to ply their trade. Reporting for Metro News from the Wasa East constituency in the Western region, Shadrach Odame Ejari.
Now, to ensure that Muslims in Zongo communities have decent meals, especially during the celebrations of Eid al-Adha, the Zongo Development Fund collaboration with Qatar Charity and the Turkish community donated food to Zongo communities across the country. In the northern region alone, over 300 cows were slaughtered and distributed to hundreds of families across the region. Now, our northern regional correspondent Al-Hassan Dibaba has been following the story.
After we monitor the slaughtering of the cows and the distribution of the meat to the needy in the northern region, Deputy CEO of Zongo Development Fund, Alhaji Baba Sadiq, explained the motive behind the kind gesture by his office.
You know, during the Eid al-Adha, a lot of people are supposed to sacrifice animals, but we have a lot of our Zongo communities or a lot of our Muslims who cannot afford. For that matter, Zongo Development Fund, as part of Bridging the Gap, has collaborated with Qatar Charity to distribute meat, to also distribute cows to the needy people, those who cannot afford.
Member of Parliament for Savelugu constituency, Alhaji Idrisu Mbenkpang, who took part in the event, used the occasion to call on the youth of the region, most especially the youth of Savelugu, to be very peaceful.
To keep the peace that we already have, so that we can all stay and enjoy the peace that everybody go about his or her everyday duties. So we want to say that we are very glad, we are very grateful to God, and then we are very happy that these volunteers and philanthropists are around to put some smiles on the faces of our poor people.
Let's go to where the long-standing feud among some members of the Muslim community in the whole municipality of the Volta region has come to an end as they pledge to live in peace. In light of this, the Muslim community has embarked on a peace walk amidst talks on the need to thrive for peaceful coexistence. Our Volta regional correspondent Christian Ahodie has more.
The walk forms part of activities to climax the Eid celebration in the whole municipality, but also most importantly, to foster unity amongst members of the Zongo community in whole, who for some time now have not been in good terms. The walk started from the Zongo Mosque through the principal streets of Ho to the Market Lane and Civic Center and ended at the Islamic School Park. Osman Musa is the organizer of the Peace and Health Walk.
We are demonstrating to them to know that we are together and we are all one. So they should take this opportunity to help us open the mosques. The season we are in now is a rainy season. The majority of the people don't have place to pray, no place to worship, and they have to be worshiping either in the open, which is not good for the community and good for the religion of Islam, which is promoting peace. So we are therefore urging the Regional Security Council and the Municipal Security Council to take a second look at the critical Aveli situation now.
The regional chief imam encouraged the participants to adhere to the dictate of Islam by ensuring peaceful coexistence.
We are going to establish senior high education school. We need the commitment of everyone. We need the devoted for everyone that we shall succeed. This is our aim.
Some leaders of the Muslim community shared with Metro News some developmental initiatives they are taking, including the construction of a secondary school project.
I'm pleading the women, please, they say Muslim they are not education, but now so many of them they educate. So I want to talk to youth, begging them that to look about their education with everything. Either they like it or not, it's forced.
The walk attracted over hundreds of Muslims across the municipality.
Let's still stay in the Volta region, where residents of Aitikopo in the Akachi South municipality of the Volta region are yet to recover from the shock and barbaric manner in which Apostle Augustine Obedema, founder and leader of the Harmony with Jesus Ministry International, and his wife lost their lives.
The body of the deceased pastor was lying outside their room, while his wife was lying in a supine position in the sitting room. The bodies were discovered in their private residence at Aitikope, a farming community within Akachi South, on Saturday morning after calls to their mobile phones returned unanswered. George Bedema, an elder of the church and a nephew of Pastor Bedema, disclosed to the media that his uncle was in his 70s, while his wife was in her late 50s. They were last seen in public about 4 or 5 days ago. The pastor, however, held a service on Sunday, while his nephew spoke to him the next day. Meanwhile, Chief Superintendent Joseph Achu Jineku, the Akachi South Municipal Commander of Police, has since confirmed the tragedy to the media. He said his outfit was yet to conduct investigations into the bizarre act, as efforts were underway to convey the bodies to the morgue for preservation and autopsy. The couple left behind a daughter.
We apologize to our viewers who are sensitive to that visuals. Now, let's come back to Accra, where 24th July 2021 was the 9th anniversary of the late Professor John Evans Fifi Atamils's passing. At a brief ceremony held at the Gesi Park at Osu, dignitaries, including the leadership of the NDC, poured in to lay wreath in memory of the late president. Former President John Mahama celebrated the man's achievements and exemplary life.
The Geese Park, now named Asumdwe Park, is where the late President John Evans Atta Mills was interred. Asumdwe, to wit peace, was how the former president was affectionately referred to, as he repeatedly said he was a man of peace. At the wreath-laying ceremony to mark the 9th anniversary of his passing, 2020 flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, was accompanied by his running mate, Professor Jainana Opoku-Agyeman, to lay a wreath. John Mahama described the late president as a humble achiever, stating that he was very interested in uplifting the socio-economic circumstances of Ghana. He recalled how Professor Mills wanted people to live in dignity and prosperity, irrespective of where they were coming from or belonged. John Mahama urged members of the NDC and Ghanaians to be guided by the values of truth, humility, transparency, and accountability. John Mahama urged members of the NDC and Ghanaians to be guided by the values of truth, humility, transparency, and accountability that Professor Mills exemplified. On July 24, 2012, Atta Mills passed on after ruling for nearly 3 years. A statement from his office said the 68-year-old died a few hours after being taken ill, but did not give details.
You're still watching Newsnight live on Metro TV. Remember, we're also on DSTV channel 277 and on Facebook at Metro News. We'll return shortly after this.
Obia ISIS AC, Tresse, it will gold-plated things. Yet the copper pipes, Papa Binaye. Gasia, and for how Biam Rodas and Ibia, and a goom. And yet the day, Tansu of 4-in-1 filter system. 80 from a free mubano. eye kroji. AC, ye the horsepower neto. Hisense kase eye 2.5 eye 2.5. Kululu pianim. Ye di abepiemo eye Hisense AC super promo. Date ni ya 26 July. Akobim 8 August 2021. Upe AC F na eche na chili na entry power. Eye Hisense AC. Comfort to yemi 26th July. Akobim 8 August. Madam Hisense. Matiti Suse. Who? 5 years warranty. Adasutia. Hisense and Kwane to me yes amount. Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Introducing a deal that's too good to miss. Pay for 1 month of Showmax Pro or Showmax Pro Mobile and get a second month on us.
He's the world champion.
That's 50% off Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 action and world-class football, as well as first and exclusive local series.
It makes sense, right?
Movies, kid shows, and more. Sign up now.
You're welcome back. It's now time for business, and Winston is standing by with all the latest. What's up in business, Winston?
Thanks, Ken. I believe there's have been some issues that has to do with the African Continental Free Trade Area and some developing stories in the world of business. Stay tuned for more. And now to our first business story. The National Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is maintaining its stance against the effort to enable traders from the West African countries to retail business in Ghana. Ghana's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament earlier reiterated the submission by the Speaker of Parliament that Ghana's law would be reviewed to allow Nigerians to trade in Ghana.
Unfortunately, there's no problem here. The laws are so clear. And the rules are so clear. The law that allows us to trade together without any hindrances is so clear. The rules of origin, that's the key. That we trade in the goods and services that are produced in our respective countries. And that they are welcome. And we welcome anybody who trades in goods that are made in Africa, especially when continental free trade is also here. And that's what these treaties allow us, all of us, to do.
All right.
The treaty forbids dumping. Our GIPC law forbids dumping. ECOWAS law forbids dumping. And so that's what we are talking about. Nobody is asking any investment amount of 1 million from a person who is trading in the goods and goods that are produced in their respective countries. So there's no issue here. I don't know what they are talking about.
All right.
But then we will make sure that goods that are permissible are the only things that will allow people to do. Goods that are not impermissible, the goods are impermissible will never be allowed among ourselves. It's as simple as that, according to the rules and engagement of continental free trade and then the ECOWAS treaty itself. We should get it.
Moro speaking to the GUTA president on NEWSNIGHT. Let's move on to another story. The program's coordinator at the UNDP Ghana, Kingsley Bekoy, is calling on the government to provide tax exemption for those engaged in the waste management businesses across the country. He was speaking at the 3-day event scheduled for in Accra.
The 3-day event, Ghana Integrated Waste Management Fair 2021, brought together various stakeholders to the conference center in Accra. It was organized to provide an opportunity to connect the different strands of waste management to enable cross-fertilization of solutions, partnership and resource support for businesses. Umar Seidu, a social statistician with the Ghana Statistical Service, said the key challenge of the service was access to funding for research purposes.
For us to be able to monitor the SDGs, we will need to explore the use of non-traditional data sources. And so we, like the marine litter one I told you, we don't have funding yet, but we are working on it. And that has been and that is not the only thing. As I said, over 30 different projects at different levels of maturity. Some of them have funding, others don't. But funding is very important. But when the government funding is not coming, you look elsewhere.
Anthony Asante Ado is the programs manager of Play Soccer Ghana, who use sachet rubbers to make goalposts.
In our booth, we have a display of our goalpost nets made out of sachet rubbers, which we collect from the households, schools, and the communities. I don't even want to use the word waste anymore. I prefer saying item materials in transition, because they are used for, it will be useful to somebody at a particular stage, and a different stage to someone might tell me to be useless, but it will still be useful to another person.
Ghana's biggest waste management firm was also there to showcase at the fair.
The bins are tagged. When I say tagged, with an RFID SIM, so that when the bins are overflowing, you can be able to tell at the back end that the bins are getting full, so that we can also try and match up with the frequent generation of waste, so that will not spill on the streets and all.
The programs coordinator at the UNDP Ghana, Kingsley Bekwe, is calling on the government to provide tax exemptions for those engaged in the waste management businesses across the country.
A couple of things have come up. I think the critical points that have come up, one is on financing, that there is still a lot of gap in terms of the money and the financing that is available for businesses and startups to be able to use to expand their business.
This year's event was powered by the Coca-Cola Foundation, the United Nations Development Programme, the Ghana National Plastic Action Partnership, and the Waste Recovery Platform.
Now, the head of the Cross-Border Trade and Business, Senator Musa Abdul Rahman, believes the African Continental Free Trade Area will provide a common platform for traders across the continent and entreat all African countries to commit to the AFTA agenda. He spoke in an interview with Metro News in the build-up to the Ghana Trade and Finance Conference slated for 27th of July this year.
The essence of the continental free trade is to provide a common marketplace for African traders. We have already taken the lead to make sure that we provide that support to our customers, especially those who are exporting. So in terms of financial mediation, where we need a common platform for the traders to be able to receive the payment for their goods, whereas the AFTA is putting in place a common platform, we are already, taking a step ahead to do this, whilst we wait for this common platform to be operationalized. This is a conference that will pull together, captains of the industries and then regulators. We expect that at the end of the day, all the bottlenecks that impede the success of AFTA should be removed. All right. In terms of infrastructure, we expect that various governments across the sub-region should be well committed, to the AFTA agenda. Those countries that have not ratified that should quickly ratify that. AFTA should also make sure that the payment platform that they have promised, all right, should be deployed as soon as possible to make sure that traders, are able to, send their, exchange their goods for payment without difficulty.
On the interbank board today, the TD is trading against the dollar, trading at 5 cedis 78 pesos. An update from the Forex and Commodities market. That's it for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. Ken Jesse standing by for the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you very much, Winston, as always, bringing us the latest in business. We return from the break with the latest in sports with Phil John Corte. Stay with us.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has been in the business of offering quality U-turn product and services at competitive rates. At SA Automobile, our team of expert staff, management, engineers and mechanics professionally deal in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at our highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020-000-0831 or 054-555-7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports, and Phil John Corte is standing by with the latest. Phil, there's bad news for Asante Kotoko.
Well, bad news for Kotoko, but if you support Real Tamale United, after 10 years, they are back in the Premier League. We'll go to Japan and find out how the Dream Teams are doing in basketball. Plus, Naomi Osaka shining on the streets of Tokyo. We'll be back with sports. My name is Phil John Corte. Let's start with football news here in Ghana. And supporters of Kotoko have to wait for next year and see whether they can clinch a trophy. They are out of the NTN FA Cup. They were beaten by Brecum Chelsea at the Linkley Sports Stadium today on penalties by 5-4 after regulation time. 0-0 ended and Kotoko are out. You see that pictures on your screen. That is players of RTU. They've qualified to top flight football after 10 years in Downdrum. So football will return to the north. You've seen the players over there quite happy after qualifying. They beat Unity FC by 2-0 to qualify. I've seen that picture again of Kotoko in their match against Brecum Chelsea in the NTN FA Cup tie, where they were beaten by 5-4 on penalties. Let's focus on boxing now because the immediate past president of the Ghana Boxing Federation, Peter Zwenis, has called a new leadership to focus on amateur boxing.
It's always the case because without good amateur boxers, you can't get good professionals. The amateur serves as the breeding ground and it feeds professional boxing with its future world champions. Of course, occasionally you have somebody who's never campaigned as an amateur but who is a good professional. DK Poison as an example. But 99% of them pass through the amateur ranks, and there's a lot to learn when you are amateur, so that when you are accomplished and you come into the professional, it makes a lot of difference.
Peter Zwenis is the former president of the Ghana Boxing Federation, encouraging the new leadership to focus on amateur boxing. Let's go to Japan now because the U.S. basketball team, the men's, were beaten by the French, but their ladies beat the men's. The game was watched by the French president, Macron, that is Emmanuel Macron, and the ladies, that is the U.S. First Lady, Jane Biden. Basketball action coming for the 2020 Olympic Games. You saw in the shot over there the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and the first lady of the United States of America, Jane Biden, in action over there. Let's focus still on the Tokyo 2020 and focus on tennis because Naomi Osaka has qualified for the next stage of the competition after beating Zheng.
The Japanese four-time Grand Slam champion had not played a competitive match since the French Open in May, when she withdrew after being fined for skipping the mandatory post-match press conferences on mental health reasons. Osaka said she appreciated taking time away from the court ahead of the Games in Tokyo, where she was chosen to light the Olympic cauldron at the opening ceremony on Friday night, July 23rd. South Korea won a 9th consecutive gold medal in the women's team archery event at the Umenoshima Park Archery Field on Sunday. The Russian Olympic Committee team won silver and Germany claimed bronze. The South Korean team of Ansan, Kan Shai-young, and Jang Min-hee won 6-0 in 3 straight sets against the ROC in the gold medal match. Australians Stephanie Gilmore and Sally Fitzgibbons led the way by winning their first round heats as surfing made an emotional Olympic debut on a sweltering Sunday at the Tokyo Games. World number 1 American Carissa Moore scored a narrow win over Teresa Bonvalot of Portugal, while Gilmore landed the best score of the day with a 14.50 mark. The competition continues as the 32 remaining surfers, 16 men and 16 women, go head-to-head in round 3, with the women first out early on Monday morning, July 26th.
Those are highlights on various disciplines coming from the 2020 Olympic Games. My name is Phil John Kwasi. That's it for sports. Desi is standing by for the latest in showbiz. Desi?
Hi Phil, it's time to talk showbiz. I've got highlights from the Ghana Party in the Park coming up and also Black Superman. Stay tuned, there's more after this. My name is Desmond Okrekudan. So now, this year's edition of the Ghana Party in the Park event took place yesterday in London, and the performances from Sarkodie and also Mr. Drew, Sefa Yautok and the others as they threw fans in London. Here are some highlights.
Alright, what's up? Let's go. Okay. I'm back to my name. This year I should be on the cross. But what for not to kill me? Yeah, I'm back when I will somebody say that we take you, man. I go. Every day we approach him. I want to tell him. So I'm fucking. What? Harder. Tell them the master chef. Let's come. Be so nice. You be telling me about one thing for chinchi. This is garbage. You be telling me about one thing for chinchi. This is garbage. Let's go. What's up? What's up? Let's go. Let's go. He said, "Time to fuck out here." He said, "Go get out of here." Say that. Yeah, go.
And it's definitely pushing Ghanaian music to the rest of the world. Now let's talk some movies. Hollywood star Michael B. Jordan is working on a Black Superman project for streamer HBO Max. And according to Collider, Jordan's Atelier Society production banner is working with the streaming service and has hired a writer to work on the script. The project is said to be based on the Val Zod version of the iconic superhero character. However, it is yet to be known whether the project is being developed as a film or a series. As per the DC Comics, Val Zod, which is also from Krypton, is from a different universe but follows a similar origin story. He is sent away from his home world to Earth after the death of his parents and becomes the second person to take up the mantle of Superman. Jordan Black Superman project is separate from the rebooted movie by Warner Brothers, which is expected to follow the Kal-El Kent version of the character. The movie will feature a black actor in the titular role. This project has author Ta-Nehisi Coates attached as a writer, and it will be produced by filmmaker J.J. Abrams and his company Bad Robot. Jordan most recently featured in Amazon Prime Video and Paramount Pictures Without Remorse. The actor will next make his debut as a director with the third installment of his highly successful Creed franchise. And I'm definitely looking forward to that Black Superman. That's it for entertainment here on Newsnight. My name is Desmond Okrekudan. So back to Ken for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Up next is international news. Let's do some international stories, as kidnappers in Nigeria have seized a man who was sent to deliver a ransom payment to secure the release of dozens of abducted school children. The elderly man was sent by the children's parents after they managed to raise 30 million naira by selling land and other possessions, but they have been left feeling hopeless following his kidnapping. The north of the country is in the midst of a wave of school abductions carried out by criminals for profit. Ransoms are frequently paid, but this is a rare case where the person carrying the cash has been taken. The kidnappers called up the school's head teacher to say that the money they delivered was not the agreed sum. The 136 students were taken from an Islamic school in Tajina, Niger State in late May. Gunmen riding on motorbikes stormed the town and opened fire indiscriminately, killing one person and injuring another. As people fled, the attackers went to the school and seized the children. And that'll be it for this edition of Newsnight. My name is Kenneth Jesse. We came to you live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. From myself and the rest of the team, thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Say the darndest things.
One platform, many talents.
And they talk about everything. Breakfast.
What is mommy like at home? Tell the truth.
She likes cereal sometimes in the afternoon.
When are you supposed to eat cereal?
In the morning.
Banking and more.
What kind of questions do they ask?
How long will this bank account last?
Showing every Sunday evening. Prime time, 5 to 5:30 p.m. with a catch-up on Wednesdays, 4 to 4:30 p.m.
Kids always say what they wanna.
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
The world has seen a lot of evolution in recent times. Global network facilitated by trade continues to grow stronger and forge nations closer together.
On International Trade Focus, we'll share with you the current industry, tech and commercial avenues turning the world's trade wheel. This is your gateway to international business connections and trading events. Get the inside views, vital information, trends and analysis on emerging trade giants in Ghana and beyond. International Trade Focus, the global television trade showcase, transcending.
Fellow Ghanaians, good evening. I've not come into your homes for some time because I had hoped that the next time I did so, I'll come to announce that we were ready to lift the restrictions and protocols and put our lives and economy